Okay, so this is part 4, which is the last part of the week 2 lecture. Okay, so this is the motions and the anatomy of the scapula. You don't need to know this until the 914 quiz in terms of the anatomy and the motions. So scapula elevation, like shrugging your shoulders, lifting your shoulder blades up. Two big muscles, prime movers there, the upper trapezius, right there, and the levator scapula, which goes from the superior angle right up to the side of your neck. They lift the scapula, the shoulder blades up. Depression. So the opposite of shrugging is pushing your shoulder blades down. This is done by the low to mid trapezius, and then the serratus anterior down here, underneath your ribs down there, pushes it right down. Protraction or abduction, you can use either term. I use protraction a lot. It just helps me keep it clean from shoulder abduction, which is something different. So if you think of protraction, this guy, when he's lifting his weights, he's pushing it up to the ceiling. Scapulas are coming, shoulder blades are coming forward. Serratus anterior, big muscle there. These guys who really have built up muscles. You can see their serratus anterior, big muscle that protracts the scapula. And then the opposite. Pulling your scapula back. Think of squeezing your shoulder blades together. That's retraction or scapula adduction. Big muscles there are the middle trapezius. This big one here. This is one of the first muscles you're going to be cutting into. You already have it in your cadaver labs. And then underneath that trapezius is the rhomboids. It's a key muscle rehab-wise for posture, for good posture. They help pull the shoulder blades back. And then we have abduction and upward rotation. So kind of like if you lift your arm up to the side, the scapula kind of rolls out and up. Serratus anterior is the big mover there, and then coming back down. So if you lift your arm up to the side, lift it all the way up to your ear, and then you can back it down again. That adduction, downward rotation of the scapula, that's done again by the rhomboids, middle trapezius, and then that levator scap kind of pulls it right into place, back into place. So those are the muscles and the motions you don't need to know until 914 quiz. This may help you be called on your student-led demonstration. The student-led demonstration, which begins 914, I believe, also. You just need to know the motions. If you're called in front of the class, if you practice in lab, think of the acronym PASS, P-A-S-S. You're going to pass your student-led demonstration. Think P for punch. That's protraction. You're punching forward, and then you're just doing the opposite, retracting. So P is punching forward, and then retraction. A-S is angel in the snow. You make an angel in the snow, you lay on your back, and you lift your arms up and down. That's kind of the abduction with upward rotation, and the adduction with downward rotation. That's the angel in the snow, upward and downward rotation. And then when you do this, when you do these muscles, you need to say it. So you need to say abduction with upward rotation, and you lift your arms up. And abduction with downward rotation, bring your arms down to your side. And the last one is S, which is shrug. So you lift your shoulder blades up, that's a shrug, and then you just depress them. So elevation and depression. Get all three of those, all six of those motions, P-A-S-S for pass. First time I did this, I forgot the P, which wasn't too good, so I had to change it. So to pass, protraction P, A-S, angel in the snow, and then S for shrug. Practice those motions. If you're home listening to this, just keep practicing them. Elevation, lifting your shoulder blades up. Depression, pushing them down. Protraction, punching forward. Take both arms and punch forward. And retraction, squeeze your shoulder blades together. And then lift your arms up for abduction with upward rotation. Bring your arms down with adduction with downward rotation. Okay, so here are the lecture questions. We'll go back over to make sure you get all the right answers. Again, it's just 1 through 6 for the 9-7 quiz. All right, I'm gonna have to kind of spin around here. Hopefully I won't make you too dizzy. Just to get the exact wording for these. Kinesiology. The study of movement combines anatomy, physiology, and biomechanics. That's all you need to answer that one. Next one, kinetic chain. A movement pattern's predictable sequence is called a kinetic chain. That's all you need. With all this in there, or some version of that, that'll work as well. But this is the definition of those first two questions. Question 3, hypo, hypermobility. Hypo, you have less than full range of motion. Hyper, you have more than full. You have excessive range of motion. So hypo is less, hyper is excessive range of motion. 6 types of synovial joints in the human body. You just need to list them. Let's go through them up here. Hinge, pivot, ellipsoid, saddle, ball and socket, and gliding. That's all you need to do for that one. And then what are agonists, antagonists, synergists, and stabilizers? Agonists are the prime movers. Antagonists, clean definition here on that one. For every movement, the opposite muscle must relax and lengthen. The antagonist is the opposite muscle that needs to relax and lengthen for the motion to happen. So in this motion, if you're flexing your elbow, you relax the antagonist, which is the tricep, so it can lengthen and you can do the motion. And then the other ones were synergists. Synergists are helpers. They help out. Stabilizers, they give you a stable base in which to do the movement. A stable base in which to do the movement. 6 key bony landmarks. The scapula. Find a picture of the scapula here. You have the superior angle, inferior angle, lateral border, chromium, top of your shoulder, the spine, the back of it, the spine of the scapula, and then the medial border. These are the 6 you need to know for 9-7 of this. And then again, don't need to know not question 7. You can start working on it, but you don't need to worry about that until the following week. And then lastly, it lists what's upcoming. Monday's lecture, 9-7. The lab quiz and questions 1 through 6, probably 2 or 3 of those questions, not too many. Make sure you watch these videos. You're going to know what you're doing when you get into labs. You're not totally lost. You can start working on these, giving your instruction, start getting this stuff down for the first practicum. Okay, so again, email questions to the virtual meeting on Sunday morning if you can. Set up a Zoom. Ask questions if you don't know. Okay, so we're good.